Okay, so I think I have it working. So just a little demo of what this software can do. For your purposes, Liz, we can talk about a more formalized demonstration for something else. What you see in front of you in this, in kind of infinity mirror of confusion in front of you, is the interface window for open broadcast software. Open broadcast software. So you see you have audio levels, which you can turn on, turn off, and so on. You have a list of sources and a list of scenes. And so I think I figured out the problem, which I'll come back to in a second. But the idea here is that you can just click and transition to a new scene. So obviously I'm focusing on the webcam that's right in front of me, right over my head. And on the previous scene, the original scene, I have a list of sources, and the order tells you the layering of the sources. So you put the priority of whatever you want. Which I didn't actually know, figured that out as I went. So the main monitor is the backdrop. What's on the screen goes at the back, and then I'm laying webcams on top of it. So you see you have my actual laptop, which is the device itself. I can kind of point you down and see that you're on the actual laptop. That's the trackpad. And then this is the monitor right here, has the webcam on top of it. So you can kind of lay things out however you want. And then this points at my whiteboard. So if I were to use this as a teaching point, then I might transition by clicking over here on my sources, and then I can get up and I can walk over and talk. Now, of course, the microphone that I'm using is not really intended for long-range communication, so I'll need to raise my voice a little bit to make sure I maintain volume. Of course, with the lighting in here, it's totally glared out, so this is not an ideal scenario. I'll have to find a solution for that, but that's not a software problem. That's a different issue. So the idea is quite simple, but I figured out what my problem was. I'm not actually sure if I can edit this during the recording. We're going to find out. The problem, I think, why I was having issues before is this USB webcam here. So you see USB webcam. I previously had it so that the source was being pulled twice. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So let me delete this source. So I just right click, remove, there it is, remove, of which it's not going to like this, so goodbye. And I'm back. So what I want to do is have the same source on this previous location. Now actually, let me see. Yeah, you should still be able to hear me. Okay, good. You can still hear me. You can see it's being picked up on the built-in microphone, which is configured in the settings. Very briefly, I'll pull this up and show you that. Let's see, where does this come from? Yep, here we go. Microphone auxiliary audio under the audio channel is set to the desktop microphone. This is my external webcam, but that's what I'm using. Anyway, so you can still hear me. So if I try to add a source, video capture device, you can see a huge list of choices, and then I say USB webcam, it gives me an error. So it doesn't like that. It says the name's already in use. Please don't do this. So I was like, okay, fine. Webcam 2. And then I would make the source that way. However, that caused the problem, I think. So what you actually need to do is click on the webcam and copy. You copy the source, which you can actually use keyboard shortcuts, Control-C, Control-C, Control-V. I don't know how to make. I found this on a tutorial, and I don't know where this came from, but I think there's a way to actually get the shortcuts to appear in the menu. I don't know how to make that happen, but I do know that it's possible. On the version that guy had, it had shortcuts. But either way, copy, come over to our new source, and paste. And then all you have to do is change the thing. So you can click the corners, you can resize, you can click and drag. Even better, you can actually transform, you can fit to screen, and that I believe, automatically centers and makes it as big as it can go and still fit. If you really want to, you can stretch the screen, but obviously that's going to make me quite wide. So that might have some disadvantages. So you might not want to do that. You're probably better off fitting to screen. Of course, if you want it to be smaller, you can resize it. Oops, there we go. You can resize it, and then I forget. There's a if you really mess it up, there's a way to reset it. I don't remember what it is. Is it just double click? Let's see. Reset transform. Yeah, there we go. So that was under transform, reset transform, and it just kind of pops back. Then you can mess with your scaling again and just center to screen horizontally or something. And so I can still have content appearing at the bottom in this black area or around, but I will keep my my ordering. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do. We can talk about other opportunities, other functions that the software has, but it's free, and I think in general it's fairly user-friendly. Scenes, if you have a different collection of sources, which are the actual inputs for your screen capture, your monitor capture, whatever you're doing. Then you have under your settings, things are generally grouped in a way that makes sense. If you're streaming, you'll need a stream key kind of thing, which I don't have one configured right now, but as an option. There's video encoding. Where do you want your videos to be recorded to? It's grayed out right now because I'm currently recording. You've got bit rates, you've got audio bit rates, and encoder settings, and there's, check for advanced settings, and you can turn off this stuff or turn it on or do whatever. You've got recording formats. There's a million things you can configure if you want to, or you can just leave it how it is, and things will tend to work well just by themselves. Now, I did change the recording format to FLV for YouTube, but otherwise I think I left pretty much everything at default. I changed my mic audio, and then I promised you hotkeys. There's nothing by default, but it's all configurable. So, yeah, go crazy. And then there's even more advanced stuff. So, a power user can go crazy, but it's not as unfriendly as it might look like it would be, considering how much power is here. So, I don't know. I think this was a good tool, especially since it's free. Beggars can't be choosers with free stuff. So if you want to pay the $18 for Screen Cap-O-Matic, that's obviously an option. Or this is a choice. So talked a little longer than I meant to. But anyway, hope this helps.